to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been. As we look forward to greater achievements, we are rebranding to reflect who we are today and the future that we inspire. Our new logo has been designed to visually demonstrate our Gambian heritage and the sophisticated nature of the bank. We are moving away from the navy and gold-colored parallelogram-shaped logo to our baobab tree with a rising sun in the background. The striking outline of a baobab tree at sunrise is a familiar sight to anyone who has spent time in the Gambia. Our new logo and visual identity are inspired by our core values and spirit of being a pioneer in providing a unique banking experience. It is a completely new look that better matches the transformation we have made as a company. But we remain your Trust Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to present to you our new logo and corporate identity.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
Airport Residency Estate is a gated community located in Old Yundum, proudly developed by Swami India, perfect for all looking for a quiet life with luxury amenities within an enclosed setting. When talking about the benefits of living in a gated community, safety and security is top on the list. They allow extra privacy, take away the hustle of unwelcome solicitors, and create a safe haven for children to play in a trusted environment without traffic or speedy vehicles. A great sense of community develops through the meeting at a controlled communal leisure facilities, offering an integrated lifestyle. A green environment and well-managed communal areas are keys to higher home standards, elevated quality of life, and better property value should you consider home reinvestment in the future. Added to all is the location, just next to the airport and reconstructed main road, yet tucked in the tranquility of nature. Our purpose is one: your satisfaction. Contact us. Let us help you build your dream home in the Gambia.
This season on Kerr Fatou.
The reason I have always called for a national dialogue is because a government must be responsive to the needs of its people.
Fatou.
Tell you one thing, if me as an individual, if I know that there is somebody that I definitely wrong, I will be bold enough. I will go to the person. I will appeal to him and apologize him.
I have to make decision today because I don't make decisions lightly. I investigate, I do my research, I get the facts, I call the experts, I summon meetings, I get the technicians, then I reflect and I make a decision.
Why did you lose the election?
Well, we lost the election because of cheating and registration. We had evidence of people being registered before the opening of the registration.
Hello and welcome to this special interview. First, we want to say Eid Mubarak to you all. If you're watching us in the Gambia and across the world, we want to say Happy Tobaski to you all. I hope you all had a joyous Tobaski. And of course, there's only one person who can bring me all the way to the studio on Tobaski, and that is no other person than Essa Mbye Faal. Essa is the former lead counsel to the TRRC and also former presidential candidate at the 2021 presidential election. And of course, since then, we haven't heard from Essa. Today we are here to break the silence. And of course, we want to welcome Essa. Welcome to this special interview.
Thank you so much for having me. Before I say anything, I should perhaps say Ndewenati to all Gambians. Happy Tobaski to everyone, and I do hope that most of us have enjoyed these festivities. I take this opportunity to also remember those people who are sick and in hospital and do not have the privilege to enjoy the occasion like most of us. I pray to the Almighty to grant them good health. And I also remember those who are languishing in the jails and whose liberties have been seized and cannot go out and enjoy this particular occasion. I pray to God to grant them freedom as and when required, and so that they may all return to their families and loved ones. But thank you very much for taking the time to host this interview in such a very important moment when time is definitely one that is much lacking because of the many things that are happening. So thank you very much for
of course, Essa is the only one. Essa Faal rek moo ñu mën a indi tey si studio bi ñu bàyyi lépp ñëw pour waxtaan, and I think it's important for Gambians to hear from you. I've always said, and I keep saying it, Essa Faal, darling of the nation, dëkk bi yëpp bugg a Essa. But they buga Essa, maa ngi set comments and I'm seeing that, and of course Gambia ni géej a dégg ci yow ñun namoon la buga waxtaan ak yow kon loolu am na solo. But first I want to say to all the viewers that are watching and who always follow Kerr Fatou, ñu ngi leen a nuyu di leen sant di leen gërëm comme ni ko Essa waxee rek, ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi si lopitaan yi, ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi si prison yi, ñu ngi feebar, ñu leen a ñaanal rek balaa next year this time yàlla may leen fii, yàlla may leen ñu dellu si seen njaboot yi. Waaye tey first we will start with Essa. Where has Essa been since the 2021 presidential election?
I have had that question being asked several times, and I ask myself, what's happening? Xanaa dama daw dugg ci pax ndax la
dañ la déggut
déedéet nit ñi xëj na nit ñi dañ dégluwut. Okay, there is credence to that a bit ne ñu bari géej nañ maa dégg. waaye maa ngi ci dëkk bi de maa ngi dem ak a ñëw di def suma liggéey di toppatoo suma soxla so yenn events yi dinañ ma ci invite dinaa ñëw def ci li ma ci war a def yëfi TRRC recommendations yi amoon naa ci benn invitation ñëw naa joxe suma paper def suma presentation participate to conversations because this is important. Oyoon nañ ma fi on a training program for lawyers ma ñëw jàngale li ma jàngale doxi suma soxla dinaa fi am sumay soxla boppa yoo xam ne dinaa ñëw toppatoo ko when they are done I leave, go to take care of other things. Look, Gambians must realize I made enormous sacrifices during the period of the TRRC and during the political period. I have left a lot of my personal issues unattended to because I needed to make that sacrifice. One, to get a TRRC report done. Everybody knows the TRRC as it was configured, or the commission as it was configured, needed special help to have the reports done. I have had interviews conducted by Kerr Fatou with Ablaye Fati.
Yes.
He was telling you that Essa used to sleep at the TRRC writing
Yes,
the reports.
he said that,
That is true. Yes, I used to sleep at the commission writing reports. People think the reports did not just come out of...
Because a lot of us were saying, where is Essa Gisatungo? And Ablai said that on my show, and I was like, Ablai, really?
Look at me during the time of the elections. I was really tired. Because straight from the TRRC to running for president, I was very tired. Because I have done so much. I mean, it was like a Herculean task to complete the TRRC reports in the short time that was available to us. And it was as a result of a lot of sacrifice, not just by me, but members of my team. I cannot thank Ablaye Fati enough. I cannot thank Hadidan Denjai enough. I cannot thank Sagar enough. Jahate, I cannot thank Mariama Singate enough. Because all of them made huge sacrifices to help us get over the line. And also the commissioners, their cooperation in signing off on the reports and so on. That's why during the elections, when people were saying Essa left the TRRC to run for president without finishing the work, I was offended, but I could not say much. But the job was already done. I had finished all those reports, and they were signed off on by the commissioners. So after TRRC and the grueling campaign itinerary, I was tired. I needed to rest. I need to look after myself. You know, I mean, if I have to be around really to achieve things in the future, so I have to take care of myself. I also have to take care of my businesses. I am not that politician who would want to sit down and get people to work hours in the diaspora, put together money and send to me for my survival. I would not accept that. I am young, I am strong, I have a profession, I have skills, I have to work. And I am working hard for myself, for my family, and for Gambians who look up to me and would occasionally want to do things with me. So, I mean, I cannot really put all that aside just to be here and parading myself in every political event. No. But
that's
yes,
what
I have been busy. Okay, people would have loved to hear from me,
especially us, the media. Yes.
But I have been writing stuff. Every event that occurred, I would write something and I would disseminate it. Maybe people would have preferred hearing.
We wanted
my
to
voice.
get your reaction. Today I'm going to get all of those reactions. But let's start with the TRRC. You said something very important. You talked about your team and the work that you guys have done. And I think that is why I think a lot of people felt that, oh my God, after everything he has done, we wanted it to complete, you know? Do you think that really affected your performance in the election? Because, you know, I have never seen a commission like this, the TRRC, how it was followed. We have a commission going on right now. Nobody follows it. We had other commissions. The star power you brought to that commission, the attention, because, you know, it's not just about the revelations that were coming. It was how you guys presented that commission, how you made it interesting. Sometimes people will say, but you wanted people to be glued on that TV, and you achieved that. So you guys did an amazing job, and nobody can discount that. But at least a lot of people said that job was not completed because once you got into politics, maybe government thought, they've done definitely pour am fame. And in fact, your opponent said that in the campaign. Did you think that really affected your performance in the elections?
It might have. You know, every negative would have an impact in an election. Why hamga yenala? Kula buguta japale. Du wax lu rafet ci yow. Gambians yëpp xam nañ ne commission boobu dañ ko liggéey and to the highest standards. Du Gambia rek a ko wax, àddina bi yëpp a ko wax. For them, United Nations, for them ñu ngi rave about Gambia's TRRC, how it was done. Every time maa ngi receive requests from universities, from countries, pour jàngee ci ñun liñ def ak niñ ko defee. People must realize that a commission like a TRRC has to be made interesting for people to follow. Because the whole essence of a TRRC, of a truth commission, is for people to know the truth about what has happened, and for that truth to help change behavior in the future. If people don't watch, if people don't know what happened, then the TRRC, no matter how brilliant the job was, it would have been a failure. And at the beginning of the commission, I had multiple meetings with the chairman, how to make this interesting so that Gambians would follow. We succeeded.
So it was not just it was designed?
It was designed.
Okay.
Anybody who knows me would know that Essa is a very serious person. Maybe too serious to the point of being boring.
Yeah.
That's me, that's my character, that's the way I am.
Because naturally you were nowhere during ordinary times. No interviews, nothing.
No.
But this, you brought in everything.
Yes, but for the TRRC, I had to make it very interesting. I had to show emotion.
Yeah.
I had to show dead seriousness. I have to show zero tolerance for nonsense. Sometimes I have to be a joker.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I do things to make it interesting. But bearing in mind the overarching objective, that is to bring out the truth for Gambians to know what has happened in our country during those dark years, and also for people to be able to appreciate themselves, whether the people brought in there are speaking the truth or not. And that's why we did everything to make it to make it interesting. And also the practice of the law, the questioning of witnesses is an art, and it is very interesting. Any person who is very skilled at it could be quite captivating when it is done and done properly. But so by the time I left the TRRC, the job was completed from my part. You know what was left? Editing. I am not an editor, but all the reports were written and signed off on by the chairman and all the commissioners. And I received a letter from the TRRC thanking me for a job well done. And not only that, I received a letter from the government thanking me for the job well done. That's why when I launched my campaign, I challenged them. I have a letter. If you dispute that the job was done, I'll publish it. But you see, people should also understand me, the kind of person I am. I am such a respecter of laws and a respecter of personalities that there are certain things I will not do. I will not go out and insult the president and say the president is doing this or the president is that. I will not do it. I will never do it. It's not respect. I will not attack our leaders and say, for instance, I say, Ba Hussein is this, Ba Hussein is that. I will never do it. Not just them, but even the smallest of the lot. And because I was not so confrontational when it came to certain things, people misunderstood. But it's just my character. I like to respect authority. I like to respect our elders. I like to give them deference. I like to put them in a special place. That doesn't mean that when I disagree, I will not come out and say I disagree. Of course I will, but I would do it respectfully. Everybody has seen what happened at the TRRC. Elders have come there. You've seen the decorum, the respect which they were showed. That's how I am. So even when I disagree with you, I will show you my disagreement in a very serious manner, but very respectful. But people expected that I would come out lashing, say at the president, oh, he said this, I say that. No. That is not me.
Is it not the way we do politics in the Gambia? Even when you didn't attack, you received a lot of it in return.
A lot of attacks.
Yes.
But
I remember my last interview with you was to clarify some of the things that came from the government side.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I am going into politics because I want to change a lot of things that are happening in our country. And some of the things I want to change is the way we conduct politics. Politics of personal attacks, politics of tribalism. These are things that are holding us back. Politics of irrelevant and trivial and stupid issues. I don't want to be involved in that. And I cannot change that by participating in it. I cannot change that by embracing it. I can only change it by putting it aside and by showing people that there is better behavior. You see? So, look, I was attacked from all angles in the politics. I was called all sorts of names. I was called a Mandinka hater. Do you know how many Mandinkas have been brought up in my home?
Yeah.
more than my family.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people, in fact, Mandinka was spoken more in my home than Wolof. The Mandinkas who grew up in our home, they don't speak Wolof. They only speak Mandinka because my parents spoke only Mandinka to them. So to say that Essa is a Mandinka hater means you don't know Essa at all. Because I grew up surrounded by Mandinkas. In my bed, when I turn right, I bump onto a Mandinka. I turn left, I bump onto a Mandinka. That's the nature of our home. Wala tinanka Mandinko fo. Okay, nina tala bake katu ni tamata sanji muang. Imafo. Ikanyina. Wala tinna nyina do manin tumado akanale. Tumado na nata ni ngafo yiga miracle Essa ye man mo completely.
Even the accent when you speak. Akana ko momi alanga amoy numbala.
But tumado nka stotale nka chande. What happen?
You speak Gunjur Mandinka.
Yes, exactly. You know, so for me, when I see Gambians, I don't see tribe. Personally, there are more Mandinkas growing up in my own house than Wolof. Yes. There are 4 Mandinkas. I am the only Wolof. My wife is Fula. So
how hurtful was that? People calling you Mandinka hater, some called you, they came after your religion, you know, and other things. How hateful was that?
I believed that, okay, all this is just said for political reasons. Gambians will know the truth. Gambians did not vote for me because they believe I was a Mandinka hater. No Gambian would do that. On the contrary, people believe that I love all Gambians equally, be you Manjako, be you Mandinka, be you Serer, be you Sarahule, it doesn't matter to me. When I worked, when I trekked, or when I went around the country, being the first person to deliver humanitarian aid during COVID, it was not about a Mandinka house or a Fula house or a Serer house. We were delivering to homes on the basis of our assessment of how hard that household would be hit by the COVID. So, and I did it in a way that not even my relatives received any support, because I did not want that suggestion that Essa is being he's giving favor to one section of society instead of another. I sacrificed my own personal resources to help Gambians from Katong to Koina, from Banjul to Buduk. We helped 5,000 families, not just me, it was a whole group of people. I put in my resources. They were raising funds from all over the world and sending it to me, and giving the discretion to use it the way I thought fit, and I believe everybody would accept that I did it fairly and honestly and properly. I gained nothing from it. I used my personal resources to a great extent. And that is the kind of leadership I want to offer in Gambia, a leadership in which everything is based on merit and in compliance with rules, instead of parochial things like Nimu Mandinkolti, Nimu Suryoalti, Ki Olof Lakalepola. I don't operate in that way. If that's the way I was operating, there perhaps would not be more Mandinkas in my own house than my own people the Wolof. But my circumstance in life is that, like every Gambian, we are also mixed. The first child in my home is Mandinka. My father brought up 13 Mandinkas in my house. 13. Yes, economists, accountants, captains, engineers. And my immediate family, my sisters are married to Mandinkas, so my nieces and nephews are Mandinkas. So I, you know what, all this is just talk. Look, my family's relations, even though I'm Wolof, my family's relationship with Mandinkas is centuries ago. My great-grandfather had Mandinka wives. My grandfather had Mandinka wives. Okay, well, my father had only one wife, so yes, but the rest of them, they had wives from all ethnic groups. We are all mixed. I think the political discourse in this country should be about how best to move our country forward. Instead of si jumality, kiban hetla to make political.
Why do you think our country has moved to such a direction in such a space? Yes, even though in Jammeh's time we had some of it, but it's not to this level that we have it today. Even us in the media, we deal with this every single day. I tell people, because I'm Mandinka, everybody thinks I'm UDP. I spoke to one politician, he said, oh, you're UDP. And I said, why? Is it because I'm Mandinka? Because we all deal with that, we face that. And it's something that I have said to people, we have to speak about it, because sometimes it's hurtful. And hearing from you, I could see how it bothered you, and it bothered me a lot of times when people say that to me. But why do you think we're in this space, and what can we do to get out of this space, to look at people for what they're doing, for who they are, and for programs that they bring to the table, instead of where they come from and who they are and who they are related to?
See, there are certain things for which I don't keep records. But in nga bondinu ko nga school fees jo nyinne atomo nyinneti bandin kola nga university fees jo pour nyinne adni mo la toti bandin kolem abasabe nyundula ni nga wo keno abe interested na de
ataban
katu nte na life nga dedicate le for the public good. Pour kamol dema, regardless of who you are, where you come from. And Gambia being predominantly Mandinka, naturally, people I interact with, there would be a lot of them who would be Mandinka. So I have paid school fees for hundreds of Mandinkas, university fees for tens of them, and just like. But why is it that we divide ourselves according to tribes? I mean, for some, it is politically expedient. Ni ntemo jolalete. Nga lonko jolale siyata jak. Lafita ka election o win. Well, maybe to appeal to the sentiments of the Jola, ma folle ko Jola al broda dema. So perhaps maybe that is how these things start. People start identifying with their little groups, where they come from, their regions and stuff like that, for political advantage. Maybe. I really don't know. But I think it is important that all Gambians realize that this thing is holding our country back. It's holding us so back to the extent that it's impeding our development. I realized that in the last mayoral and chairmanship election, there was not much tribalism. But that is my own assessment. But I may be wrong.
There were tribal comments made at political platforms. During the presidential, it was more, because we have seen a lot of people openly saying it on platforms, bigger platforms. But even in the mayoral election, we have seen people calling the mayor Narla. He's not one of us. Don't vote for him. These were comments that were visible, and a lot of people,
But I just want to say that these are things that not only hold us back and impede our development, but they cause civil strife. I work mainly on war crimes, crimes against humanity and genocide and things like that at the international courts. And most of the cases we deal with are cases that stem from such prejudices. Look at what happened in Rwanda. What's happening in Myanmar, which is a bit religious, it's just these little differences between us that people amplify, and sometimes it can cause war, and it is not right. I recall soon after the election, somebody said that Essa Faal should not go to Usainu Dabo's house or to help these Mandinkas or something. And I was deeply offended. I don't know who this woman is. I have never seen her. I have never heard her name. But in politics, you have support from everywhere. So sometimes your supporters may say crazy things. But that woman does not know that when I was a young lawyer, Ba Usainu used to take me to work. She doesn't know that I hold Ba Usainu to the highest regard. She doesn't know that Ba Usainu's nephews, many of them lived in our own home. I remember Seni Job and Sana Job. They are his nephews. Some of them, I don't recall their names. There is one of the ladies, she is in the army. And there are many others. About 5 of his nephews and nieces lived in our home in Kanife. And they are very, very close to my family. And Ba Usainu is somebody I hold to the highest regard. And I respect him just like I would respect any of my elders, just like I would respect the president of this country or anybody else. So to put me in a statement like that was deeply offensive. And I felt very bad. I tried to find out who this woman was. I never got to know who she was. But these are things that are divisive. And they are absolutely wrong. Today, if Ba Usainu calls me and says, "Ndoke, Nanya," I will go. Because I hold him to that level of respect. And that is the way I would. If the president calls me today to say, "Essa, come to my office," I will go. In fact, I was there on Friday to discuss with him issues that are important for me personally and for the country. Not because, when you interact with people, you are succumbing to them or you are putting yourself under them. No, life is all about give and take. We interact with each other. And these are elders in our society. We have to give them the respect that they deserve. I want to be a statesman, and I want people to respect me when I reach that level. I cannot give them a recipe to treat me with disrespect when I get there by showing those who are there some disrespect. I would not. You will not do that.
Now, I want to go back to finally on the TRRC before we move on deep on politics, because we need to go in deep when it comes to politics. The TRRC, after you guys did an amazing job, did recommendations, and the government came up with their white paper. Let's talk about that. Were you satisfied with the government white paper?
Overall, by and large, yes.
Okay.
And I had a very strong attachment to the recommendations.
Okay.
Because I believe that the recommendations can shape the future for Gambia.
Yeah.
Just one important one, and it's a very simple one. Pass the draft constitution.
The constitution.
That by itself.
Up to now, we don't have one.
So that is important. Establish strong institutions. These are the kinds of recommendations at the TRRC. So I was happy when the government approved
the white bill.
Almost 98% of the recommendations. But there are some recommendations.
There were some critical ones that the government did not.
Yes, like say for instance the Sana Sabali amnesty.
Yeah.
I did not participate in amnesty decisions.
Okay.
Because what we did at the TRRC was, let's first make the findings and the recommendations.
Okay.
And then amnesty was held until later. I helped to write the rules on how to access amnesty. All right? But you have to be found responsible before you are granted amnesty. That's the way we structured it.
Yeah.
So when amnesty decisions were being made, it was made by the committee. So the lawyers would advise them as to the rules. And the rules are, first, whether a person who's committed certain violations has showed remorse and that the person is prepared to accept the conditions and that it's not crimes against humanity and that the person was truthful. These were the four basic elements. So when people applied, after all the findings, the lawyers would check to see, okay, this person committed violations. It's not crimes against humanity. Okay, the person was remorseful. We believe he was, but let the commission decide that, and that the person was truthful. Well, here is evidence showing that the person lied.
Yeah.
So you submit all that to the commissioners, and the commissioners decided. So in the case of Sana, I wasn't there when that happened, okay? But, I mean, I had discussions with some of the staff about it. The commission advised or recommended amnesty for Sana.
Yeah.
Personally, I did not agree with that decision.
Okay.
Okay? For certain reasons that I hold. So government rejected that recommendation. But I believe that government rejected it on the wrong grounds. And if Sana had gone to court, the court could overturn the decision of the government.
Really?
Yes. The government said that they rejected the recommendation because Sana is one of those who bears greatest responsibility for the violations.
Yeah. But isn't that not what the commission also said? People that bear the greatest violations responsibility would not be...
No.
Okay, all right.
The rules are clear.
Okay.
The rules say if you commit crimes against humanity, there is no amnesty. There's no finding that Sana committed crimes against humanity. The rules say if you show remorse, you are truthful, it's not crimes against humanity, and you accept the conditions for amnesty, you can be granted amnesty. It does not say if you bear greatest responsibility. So the government denied Sana amnesty on an irrelevant consideration. And administrative law, there are what are called vitiating factors, factors that would render an administrative decision liable to be overturned if there are irrelevant considerations, if there are non-compliance with rules and so forth. But in this particular occasion, it is an irrelevant consideration because bearing greatest responsibility is not one of the elements. Okay, one can say that bearing greatest responsibility could have some impact, but that is if the crime was crime against humanity. But remember, Sana left the government in November. So there was no chance for the crimes he was involved in to amount to crimes against humanity. Because for there to be crimes against humanity, the crimes have to be widespread or systematic against a civilian population. Sana participated in two major events, or three if you will. The coup itself, which was not the subject of the investigations, but November 11, in which people were killed. That is the crime in which Sana participated, and some of the shootings by members of his convoy and so forth. So that
doesn't qualify for against crimes against humanity.
No, not for Sana.
Not for Sana.
Not for Sana, because it was not a widespread crime. It was not a systematic crime as such. So, and even if one could say that it was not sufficiently grave to be called crimes against humanity. So on that regard, I thought the government made a mistake. It was a mistake, I want to believe. I just want to believe that they acted genuinely. They wanted to do the right thing. Just like I believed that Sana should not be given amnesty. And the reason why I believed it is Sana did not show enough remorse regarding the killing of the November 11 guys. Because he was telling the chairman that these people wanted to kill us, so we killed them.
We killed them, yes.
And he does not care about Geneva Conventions. Everybody will remember that conversation wherein the chairman was so incensed and he said, I spent 15 years training generals about these conventions. You little boy, you sit here, you tell me that this is not important. So for that reason, I believe that Sana did not show enough remorse. And remorse is a requirement. And that's why I believe that Sana should not have been given amnesty. But that issue of remorse is a question of fact. It's the commissioners who should decide whether they are satisfied that he has showed enough remorse or not.
And they were.
And they were.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that it was overturned for the wrong reasons. There are other ones, you know, but I don't want to...
Now, I want to talk about one in particular, the NIA director, because the NIA was a very instrumental institution, and a lot of the crimes were occurred in that complex. And the recommendations that came in, the government did not accept that. What was your reaction when you saw that? A lot of the people, though, the population, felt there was favorism. Did you feel that way? What did you think? Did the government get that right, or did they get it wrong?
Well, people have to realize that a lot of the crimes that happened in the NIA did not happen under the watch of the current director.
Yeah.
Okay, so he cannot take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
I think the responsibility against him that the TRRC found was the destruction
of evidence.
And technically, destruction of evidence was not. The destruction of evidence occurred after the temporal jurisdiction of the TRRC, because ours was from 1994 to January 2017. The destruction of evidence occurred after that. But there's a technical. The TRRC Act says that we should inquire into destruction of evidence. But destruction of evidence can only occur ex post facto. It could only occur after the events, and more so at the time of investigations. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. But you know, look, I cut the government some slack
on that.
You know, it's a matter of legal interpretation.
Okay.
If they say we did not have jurisdiction to look at that, I agree. We don't have jurisdiction on the destruction with regards, if you look at the temporal jurisdiction alone. But there is another paragraph, which I can't recall offhand, which says that the TRRC should look into the destruction of evidence. And destruction of evidence can have only one important factor, which is to help conceal crimes and crimes of the past. Okay, so if the TRRC Director General the NIA DG never worked at the NIA before, you can argue that the destruction of evidence would not help him. I leave it at that.
You leave it to that.
I leave it at
Do you think, though, the destruction of evidence at the NIA hindered your work to get to some of the evidences you would have wanted?
I would want to say yes, because I don't know exactly what was there.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that we did not see, which we thought we should have seen. And also to have the full picture of what the torture cells were, we were deprived of that opportunity. Like there were circles in the world. We came and found those circles to have been cut. You know, so those circles being there would have showed the commissioners a very important picture. And that place could have been preserved as a museum for Gambians to come and see what their star chamber was. So in that regard, I think yes, we have been deprived of something.
Any other one? Do you think you know government got right or wrong?
You know, the others, there are some recommendations that were not fully implemented. Like some people have been appointed when definitely these people should not have been appointed because they were enablers of the regime. You have people who are still in their positions who enabled the Jammeh regime. But look, the rules are that the government is given the discretion to accept a recommendation or to reject it. So if they exercise that discretion and they believe that they have exercised it judiciously, I would accept it.
But something like that, the implications of that, for example, somebody who enabled or somebody who was part of the system that victims openly heard how, you know, their families or how they themselves were tortured, and these people were part of that system, for them to see a recommendation to keep them in those same positions, what impact does that have on the victims, though?
It is not good. It is not good. It does not convey the right impression. Okay. It does not convey fairness. In fact, it shows partisanship. It shows politicking. But that's what a government does. Yeah. You know, if I were president at this time, I would wish to exercise my discretion and to exercise it in a way that I feel comfortable, taking into consideration all the factors. I should accept that the president, whosoever is sitting there, is also given the same latitude to exercise his discretion. I may not agree with the decision, but I agree with the procedure, that there was procedural fairness. He has the discretion to decide, or he and his cabinet has the discretion to decide, and he decided. So if we are to be a country of laws, we have to accept these things. So if we do not agree with the president, we have somewhere to wait him. That's the ballot box, where we would look at everything he has done and we decide whether we would support him or not to support him. And clearly, from what I have seen, the Gambians supported the president. And that's why I congratulated him at the end of the elections. I wish the results were in my favor. Yeah. They were not. But I have to be a respecter of laws, and I also have to be fair to people. The rules allow the government to issue a white paper, excuse me, and state the recommendations they accept, and those that they reject. They have done so. But there are instances where they got it wrong. It could have been appealed, but that didn't happen. So we have to live with the decision as it is. Excuse me.
We have to live with the decision that they have taken. Now, still on the TRRC, final question on the TRRC. Government white paper is out. Now we look forward to the implementations. We haven't had the draft passed, and I think that will affect the implementation. I don't know how much it will. Also, the president, though, has shown commitment. He has said it time on time in the SONA, in other addresses, to say that he will make sure that the white paper is implemented. He is committed to that. Government is committed to it. But we have seen also the number 3 in government, the Speaker of the National Assembly, has openly said that under his watch, I want to paraphrase, that, they will, some of these recommendations will not. He said it at Assembly. Are you concerned? Are you optimistic that if the president has the political will, we should be comfortable that it will happen. But are you concerned that the recommendation, the white paper, will be implemented to the fully?
Well, you see, the Speaker of the National Assembly is a very important person. He performs an important role. But his role is limited to the running of National Assembly affairs and the passing of laws. The responsibility about whether the TRRC recommendations would be implemented or not falls squarely on the shoulders of the president and his government. So if I am listening, I would put more premium to what the president says and not what the speaker says. He may have his political opinion. He may even have some influence on the president, but the decision is not his. So I would rather listen to the president.
You're optimistic? We'll have fully implemented? With all the circumstances?
Full implementation is difficult. And not just in Gambia, but everywhere else. But I am hopeful that the government would implement. Look, there are a few things that we need. The government has to have a plan. It has to have money. It has to have political will, and it has to have the right infrastructure to implement. Right? These are the 4 required elements. They say they have political will. That's you have heard the president say it several times.
Yeah.
I will not question his statement until I see reason that should make me believe that he does not want to do it. I have not seen that yet. Like I said, I have just had a meeting with the president.
Yeah.
I have my reasons for believing that the government has political will.
Okay.
Okay. So he has said it, his government has said it. What reinforces that is that I have seen steps taken by government.
Yeah.
One is they have started working on the money front to get the money. 2, they are doing some of the implementation things already, like setting up a special prosecution office and setting up panels preparing to set up panels within Gambia's judiciary. They are negotiating with ECOWAS to establish a joint tribunal, a hybrid tribunal, and a host of other things. The U.S. government has just donated some funds to that effect. So on that basis, I think that the government is serious about implementation. All right. Whether they are doing it fast enough, we may not be satisfied. I'm not satisfied that they're doing it fast enough.
Yeah.
But they know their constraints. I don't.
Yeah.
But I am committed to seeing that the recommendations are implemented. A lot of the recommendations don't require money or don't require much money. We just need to reorganize ourselves and things like that. So the government can do that. The more difficult one is the prosecution, and negotiations are already underway with ECOWAS to set up a tribunal. So I want to believe that they would. But you recall when I gave the closing submissions at the TRRC, I said this, if Gambia does not prosecute, West Africa will prosecute.
I was going to ask that,
Yes, if West Africa fails to prosecute, Africa would prosecute. If Africa fails, then ICC will come. So
prosecution will definitely happen.
So whether they like it or not, the ICC, there would be prosecution. The ICC may come if the government is unwilling or unable to prosecute. And the ICC is watching. And I think it would be mighty embarrassing for the government of the Gambia to refuse to prosecute. You know why? Gambia has a very good standing in the international community when it comes to respect for international human rights law and international criminal law. I mean, the Gambia took the Rohingya case to the International Court of Justice. And that brought Gambia a very good name in the international community. Why would we take crimes against humanity in Myanmar? Why will we take it to the International Court of Justice and refuse to take crimes against humanity in Gambia to a Gambian court? That would be utter hypocrisy. And I don't think the Gambia government would want that label. So I want to believe that the president and his government would do what is right. The Gambian people expect the government. I expect my government to do the right thing. I expect them to set up a tribunal and prosecute. Whether we would get it as fast as we would want it would be difficult. I don't know. I don't know all their constraints. But I do have confidence that they would. But if they don't, I, and many like me, would champion the cause to make sure that the blood of Gambians that has been shed in this soil for no justifiable reason would be vindicated and in courts, be it in the Gambia or elsewhere. So
this is so assuring for the victims.
Yes,
very assuring.
Because we have to stand for the victims. Because if never again is to be meaningful in this country, there has to be accountability. we have to make sure that those who shed Gambian blood would come and face justice. It's our collective responsibility. I will do my part. I pray to God that our government would do the right thing. But if they don't, they will find some of us here who are prepared to do what it takes to make sure that there is accountability.
Very assuring, and I'm sure a lot of the victims that are watching, I see people saying, thank you, Mr. Faal, because this is a lot of things that a lot of Gambians want to hear, the assurance that there will be accountability at some point. We don't know when and how, but at least there will be some accountability.
But what is more reassuring, really, is the statement of the president that they are going to implement. And I believe him.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Yeah.
I think when he said
you co-signing that, you have seen the political will also is very important, because yes, the president, like I said earlier, the president has assured Gambians that they will do
you know what is very easy for a politician is to trash an opponent.
Yeah, you don't do that.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I always try to be as truthful as possible. And as objective as possible. And I do want to believe that our government would do the right thing. But they may be listening and they may be watching. If you don't,
they are watching. Almost
if you don't,
2,000 people are watching, and I know government officials are watching.
Okay. If they don't do the right thing, there would be a lot of us who would take steps to ensure that there is accountability, be it in Gambia or elsewhere. We have seen Hussein Habre, 24 years in the run. There was prosecution.
There was prosecution.
Ultimately.
Yes.
Look at Myanmar.
Yeah.
There are indictments in Argentina.
Yeah.
Just look at it. Myanmar and
Argentina, like miles away.
Miles away.
Yeah.
They are doing a case in Argentina, a universal jurisdiction case in Argentina for things that happen in Myanmar. So if people think that games can be played and people can escape justice and so on, ultimately justice would catch up with a lot of them. Some may escape, but for a lot of them, justice will catch up. And for Gambia, I do hope and pray that we would do the right thing for the victims, but also for the future of our country, so that people would know that, when you violate the law in such a violent manner against our people, you will be held to account.
You have an account.
Otherwise, nobody would be safe in this country.
Yeah, that's true. Now, let's get into politics more. What happened? I remember one of our interviews when you announced that you're running. I always had the greatest honor to have you do any interview. The first time ever when you were at the TRRC, I hosted you. When you announced your candidacy, and I was the first person to talk to you, and I was like, Essa, just like so many other Gambians, why did you rush into politics? The Essa that we wanted, this is the darling of the nation. He's doing everything right for us at the TRRC. Maybe he should have waited for 2026 when everything is settled, and then we can go to the field. That so many Gambians will be ready to work with you. Did you think that affected your outcome? Because the popularity of Essa Faal didn't show at the polls.
At the polls, that is true.
Why didn't you do so well?
Look, the thing is, I am not a perfect person. I always try to do the right thing, but I am not perfect, and sometimes I make mistakes.
Yeah.
What is honorable is to accept a mistake when you make a mistake. Okay. Some people may say that I rushed into politics. I may not put it that way. I would say I got into politics not fully prepared. The two are different. Okay? The two are different. But for those who believe that I rushed into it or that I should have waited till 2026, yes, I have heard thousands of Gambians say, Essa Faal wait till 2026. Ni ite mambori intolbele betala iya nge kama nge president.
Yeah.
I have heard a lot of that. Some people have said that. But those people do not know what I was going through at that time. I was under so much pressure to run. It was basically impossible in the end not to. So I had to make personal adjustments and personal sacrifices. And I said to myself, look, I am doing this for the people, the lot who believe in me. I cannot afford to disappoint them. But no matter the outcome, we would learn from it. We would learn from it. And that's the most important thing. We have learned from it. We have done certain things very well, exceptionally well. We have done certain things very poorly. And I can give you examples.
Like what?
Nobody would say that our behavior during the election was bad. And I am very proud of that. And I know that in campaigns in Gambia, a lot of terrible things happen. When you put together hundreds of men and women from different homes, different backgrounds, and you travel with them, a lot of terrible things do happen. In our campaign, we made sure that none of those terrible things happen. Every day we would come together and we will read out the rules. Best behavior. And that is why also you did not hear any insults from us. Our campaign, we were stifled pretty much. We were boxed in. You know, there are certain details I cannot sit here and discuss. But we were followed by marabouts, followed by people with all the equipment that are to bribe. We were followed by all sorts of. So whatever good work we do in a particular place would be destroyed by those who would follow. But this is politics.
That's politics.
But the important thing here is that we should ensure that we have a country of laws, where laws are implemented regardless of who is the beneficiary or who is the victim. Without rule of law, our country will never develop. It does not matter the kind of president we have. And that was the reason why I was running, and that was the reason why I would run in the future if I should. We have to have laws in this country. Gambia enjoys the most peaceful election. But is our election corruption-free? I leave that for all Gambians to ponder and ask themselves, what do they want? Remember, the beginning of Jammeh's downfall stemmed from the demand for electoral reform. Have we had that electoral reform?
Nope, not to now.
Exactly. So we are using the same playbook. And we are using the same personalities.
Same institutions.
The same institutions, but worse still, the same personalities. So those who were doing this there are the same people doing it here. I cannot say more about that. But are Gambians satisfied that our electoral system and processes are up to international standards?
Why did you think you did so badly when it comes to the results? Because the reason why I asked this question, you know, incumbents or people that are leading in polls, when you see them attack certain candidates, you know that they know those people are gaining momentum. And of course, the president, most of the time, it was just UDP, but at some point, it was you. And even generally, a lot of people thought, you know, you were polling better than most of these other parties. It was more about you, UDP, and the president. Why? But that did not reflect in the results. Why didn't you do well when it comes to the numbers?
Look, I have some answers, but I don't have all the answers.
Okay.
Look, anybody who followed us during the campaign would know we were doing so well that a lot of us believed genuinely that we were going to win. Honestly speaking.
Yeah.
We believed. Look.
Alaji Sanyang believes so much. I speak to that guy every single day.
Look, because he went all around.
No, he calls me and say, Fatou, I swear to God, I'm like, Oli, don't want to say but again, it's what he was seeing in the field, on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, but what happened with the numbers then?
We don't know.
Okay.
That is the correct answer. And we don't know because of a lot of reasons. We hear that in the end, Gambians decided that they are all going to vote for Adama Barrow because they don't want a particular candidate to win. I don't believe in that. If that really happened, then I am afraid for this country. If Gambians could, in a very short period of time, through make such an arrangement, I am afraid for this country. Because these are the makings of civil war. These are the makings of genocide. Because if you would gang up and say we're going to dislodge but I mean, I have heard those stories, but I just leave it.
A lot of people said that too.
Yes. So maybe we were victims of that. Others also insisted on a coalition between me and
some other groups.
Some say we were punished for not doing that because some thought that voting for us would have been a wasted vote. But there were certain terrible things that happened in the elections.
Like what?
We did not have agents in the polling stations. We did not.
Yeah.
Because what happened at the nomination, and I made noise about it, and people say, oh, Essa is angry, that, and that. I don't know of a person who never gets angry.
We all get angry.
We all do get angry. The question is how you comport yourself when you are angry. When I was angry, I think I behaved honorably as a gentleman. I stated my piece, and then I forgave immediately. That's how leaders should behave. You show your anger, you show your disappointment, but you also do the right thing. I forgave them instantly. But the same thing happened to us.
Election day.
If Gambians, when I protested in nomination, if Gambians said, no, we do not want this kind of nasty behavior coming from anybody. People must respect laws, people must honor contracts, people must respect and honor other individuals. Then perhaps those who did it would have learned, and this kind of behavior would not happen during elections. False and untrue stuff was told to our agents, getting a lot of them to get angry and leave the poll.
Wow.
So we did not have agents.
Mr. Faal, now I wanted to bring a scenario because a big supporter of yours gave me these two scenarios in Banjul and in Latrikunda. And this particular person said to me, in Banjul, Essa alone and his delegation is more than what was counted for him in that particular polling booth. And in Latrikunda, this particular person told me, my family and all of the people in our house voted for Essa. But the numbers, and like she gave me a particular number, but the number that were counted for them in that area was different. Were there some of those things were things that you saw after the election results?
Look, I have had a lot of stories. Some may be true, some may be in between, some may be outright falsehood, but I really don't know. Like I said, I did not have agents at the polling stations to police, to oversee what was happening. So I really do not know. But what is certain is that Gambian elections are not rig-proof. I'm not saying that they were rigged. I did not say that. But what I'm saying is Gambian elections are not rig-free. All right? And that is why when we converge at Honorable Usainu Daba's house to make a decision on what to do, I agreed to join. because I believed that the election results are not a true reflection of how people voted. That was my belief at the time. But when I went home and sat with my team and we discussed further, I decided that I will not participate any further. I know my UDP friends and family were disappointed.
A lot of people were. There were a lot of attacks that
In fact, some said I betrayed Ba Usainu, but that is not true.
Yeah.
I respect Ba Usainu too much. I respect him a lot. I have learned a lot from him as a senior lawyer. And he's done me a lot of favors when I was very young. I always tell people he used to take me to work frequently. But even that aside, his standing in Gambian society is such that I have to respect him. I would not do that. In fact, before I reneged, I gave him a call and told him. And the thing is, I have to be honest to myself and to my people. I did not have the evidence. I know certain things were wrong. I know that the results were shocking. I know the results were shocking. You know, but I don't have proof as to how these results
got to this place.
Got to this point. So what should I do? All right, should I continue to be carried away by my own sentiments? Or should I be the lawyer that I am and say I am guided by the evidence? For our part, we do not have the evidence. For your part, you have the evidence, you go forward. And I did say quite clearly, I support UDP in their process. And I did support them. But the thing is, I could not be part of it.
Because you didn't have the evidence.
Because I didn't have the evidence. And I think that that was honorable. I was not the only one who visited, who attended the meeting at Ba Usainu's house. I wasn't the only one. There were others who were there. Did you see their names in the court records? Their names were not there. Did they betray Ba Usainu or did they betray UDP? I don't know. But for me, I know that I did not betray Ba Usainu. I never would. I never would. So this is a man I hold to high regard. I mean, I respect UDP. I respect the fact that they are standing for their country. Just like I would respect GDC, that they also want to do their best for their country. Just like I would respect PDOIS, that they want to do their best for their country. Just like I would respect NPP, they want to do their best for their country. Who am I to think that I am the only one who wants to do something for Gambia? That would be utterly arrogant. And I am not that kind of person.
So if you knew there was something that happened, there were things that went wrong, you could not figure everything out. What is Team Sobea doing so that you don't get to fall in that same trap in the future? Because at the end of the day, if ever Sobea is thinking of, you know, continuing into politics, at least you should be able to investigate and know this is where we had our issues and this was what happened during the elections, and we'll make sure we don't do the same things again. We don't fall into the same.
We have done so.
Okay.
We know a lot of our mistakes. Maybe not all.
Yeah.
We know a lot. We know a lot of our mistakes, and we would remedy them at the right time. I mean, look, this is a learning curve for us. We were new. We were political novices pretty much. So really, you know, a lot of things caught us by surprise.
Okay.
But I do think that in terms of how we conducted ourselves, we were exemplary. We did exceptionally well. We did things properly because we wanted to show that we are different. We want to do things right. We want to do things according to law. We want to do things in a way that we would get respectability. And that's what we did.
Are we going to see Sobeya continue in elections?
Of course.
Of course?
Of course. Why would Sobeya? I mean, look, Sobeya is here. So, look, the process of developing our country is a continuous one. We want to continue to engage. I would be doing other things other than
we'll get to that,
politics, because people think that as a politician, all you should do is just do interviews and attack government or attack your opponents. I am not that politician. I am not. I am sorry to disappoint some of my supporters who think that Essa should just be here, calling the president names, attacking him, or calling Ba Usainu names, attacking him, or calling Mama Kande names, attacking him, or any of these honorable people. Okay? I don't do that. I am not that kind of person. Inte yankulu pour que mo horma. Man dañ ma yar pour ma jox nit cër ak respect. So politics of personal attacks is not me. Okay. So,
but why haven't we seen Sobeya in any of these election cycles? Bu president passé National Assembly gisuñ len, councilor election gisuñ len, mayoral gisuñ len, cycles yeb jeex nañ. Lu tax lolu? So da ngeen bëgg growth, da ngeen bëgg yokku, you know. Wow.
Sa popularity.
Wow.
At the election results are like night and day. Okay. So it therefore means that there was some fundamental error. Bala ma dugaat ci affaire boobu na war a xam erreur boobu lan la. Ba pare fuñ jaar war a prepare war a defaraat suñ brand. Okay. Look, people voting for Sobeya should not only depend on the popularity of Essa. It should depend on a host of other factors. Well, having the last election was not really, in my book, it's not the best test
of
our ability or our appreciation or worth in Gambian politics. I mean, and I have my reasons, but I have to be realistic and accept.
Why do you think it was not? Because
no, there are lots of reasons. I told you, some of the things that were said were true, some were false, some are in between. I don't know exactly where all the truth lies. Okay? Some of it is our doing, some we made some mistakes. There were others that were out of our control. There are others that, you know, anyway. But you see, I also have this deep faith, this belief in God. Ne nit ñi ñoy sani karta. Wala ka karto fay. Bari ala. Wala ka man sa tombong. Yalla itana buram de yalla ko fal. Okay? Nekuma president because yalla nanguwut.
Nekangulo.
Nekanguma ko. Parce que yàlla nanguwut nangoogut ku foog ne nag yow sa ability sa personal mun mooy tax yow nga nekk président ndax nga sa bopp. This is my faith, this is my belief, you know, and looloo tax man I so quickly reconciled myself with the announced results. Ma toog doxi suma soxla du ma toog rek di solk mboytale. No, I will not do that. Duma toog rek di jooy rek ne dama daanu déedéet dama jóg doxi suma soxla parce que man ci dëkk bi fii defuma fi dara luy tax ma am gàcce. Lépp lu ma fi def lu yiw la lu rafet la. Lépp lu ma fi wax lu baax la lu ñoo yóbbu kanam la. Bon awma fi dara lu ma rus. Gis nga léegi dama tasee ñeneen ñi dañ maa ree qu'est-ce parle minti ma ne la man la. Waaw xam nga lu tax won naa la ne man daanu naa election. Loolu does not diminish who I am. It does not diminish the stature I have in this country. Man def naa fi lu fi kenn defut. Liggéeyal naa suma réew lu kenn liggéeyut. just like bari na fi ñoo xam ne liggéey nañ fi loo xam ne kenn liggéeyu ko fi. so niñ leen a respecté lañ maa respecté. te tam wane naa fi jikko gu rafet goo xam ne ku bëgg a wax dëgga ding ma ci naw xam nga ñii laa wax ne oh Essa Faal dafa arrogant if you are a hater you find a reason. You know, Essa Faal dafa mun a bluff. If you are a hater you find a reason. waaye man xam naa ne suma morom gënumaa humble suma morom gënumaa jub suma morom gënumaa yaru parce que these are the values by which I pride myself. waaye ñenn ñi xam nga rek suñ la bëggee trash. they would say these things, you know. xam nga rek doo ne moom ku baax la ku yaru la de but I hate him. You won't say that. You want to find a negative. And you know, but this is human behavior. I have to understand ne ñëpp duñ ma mun a bugga. yonent ba sax ñëpp bugguñ ko woon. yonent ba Maka dañ ko jam xeer bem daw taxu Medina te bari na fi. ci dëkk boo dem lii da si Ablaye Wade Sénégal dañ ko doye di loobe ñaata at. you know, so these things do happen. waaye man sant naa yàlla parce que xam naa ne dëkk bi ñi ma bëgg dañ bari. macha allah di ñaan yàlla nag mu yokku te nag di ñaan ñu bugga ma ngir suma jikko ju rafet ngir suma jëf ju rafet ak ngir bugga suma réew. ndax ak leneen xam nga moo tax now and again certain things come up. I don't want to fight it because it's foolish. Like Essa Faal is Ahmadiyya. You know, in one rally in Basse, in Sarahule country, you know, in those areas, Essa Faal Ahmadiyya lem, Abab Ahmadiyya lem, Afa Ahmadiyya lem. But Ahmadiyya are human beings. They believe in God. Why attack them? Especially knowing that you are lying against me. You are lying against my faith. So knowing fully well that what they are saying is false, completely false. Those sitting with them knowing that what they are saying is completely false. But they'll go and say it. You know, so façon ngi ñooñu dama leen a xool ne ñii day mutuñ li ñoo oote. Because if you're calling for leadership, if you calling for certain trust to be placed in you, there has to be some level of decency and some level of honesty. So Mota, I leave the people to judge for themselves whether in fact these people are living by those standards. And I refuse to be dragged to the mud. Gis ngeen fi Baba Jah. ñëw na teg ma caméra saaga na ma ndey yëpp saaga na ma lu nekk. I was just standing and watching. xam ngeen ne under normal circumstances I would not accept that from anybody. But the politics of this country and the laws of this country require that I show best behavior. And I did. How many Gambian men can stand that? ñi dee wax sax ne Essa dafa mun a mer. ka kam faale. I think bés boobu woon na leen ne waxu leen dëgg parce que kuñ ko tegoon moom mu nekk that situation di ko dina doon react very badly.
I'm glad that you brought that up because bari won indi won na wax ju bari and I mean sa reaction luñ gis on camera, obviously you were very calm and collected and you didn't react loo xam ne out of order, out of character, and a lot of people applauded you for that. Why after nit ñi dañ ne Essa dafa yónni ay boys pour ñu doon dural ko Baba Jah, was that true?
Well, police investigate nañ di su police gisoon loolu ni ko noon it will turn different. You know, so
now Still, last question before election. Gis nañ ne after the mayoral election, nga issue a statement. Just like any other event, you always made your position known on issues regarding our country. And you made a very strong statement. Congratulate all political parties, congratulate the winners and the losers, and but you specifically mentioned UDP for their organization. What do you think they did right this time that they have not done before? You said I particular mention for UDP for their organization and campaign, something like that. Why?
Man, like I say, I always try to be an honest person. When I looked at things, I think that UDP won because they were better organized. And Bokuma UDP. But that doesn't mean that I should trust them. It doesn't mean that I should hate them.
Yeah.
This Gambia, the so tuti, is so small. We are also interconnected in a way, it's quite intricate. So we have to be very, very careful. Man, politics or power or political office, Jara Luma must sacrifice some values. I would not sacrifice my values at the altar of politics. No, I try to be as honest as possible, or I keep quiet. That election, I believe UDP was better organized. The results saw it. They won. And it was a difficult environment. It was toxic, highly polarized, and tempers were very high. And they did well. So if UDP did well, I should be honest enough to say that UDP did well. Okay? And I should congratulate them. If NPP did well, I should also be honest and congratulate them. And if you look at it, the results, this was a very, very balanced election, really, considering the two camps. But that is an analysis for some other day.
Yeah.
Okay, but man, I believe I was just speaking my mind. I was being honest and truthful. All the parties did well, all the sides did well. But I was more really impressed by how they behaved after the results were announced, because people thought that this was so politically charged that something could happen after the elections, just like some of the things we saw, ugly scenes we saw happen in Banjul.
Yeah.
But it stopped at that. So the Gambian people were the winners. The Gambian people showed that they can act maturely and put aside these differences and behave in a very peaceful manner. And that is what I liked about that election. For me, that was the big take. The fact that both sides behaved maturely after the results were announced. And this is the way our politics should be. We should always show proper behavior. We should always show decorum. Because look, if you want to be president, you want to be head of state, and you are not straight, you are not a respecter of the laws, and woe betide the people that you govern. And for me, I want to show a good example to the Gambian people that if they should choose to elect me in office, they would have a leader who would be a respecter of the people.
Are we seeing a rerun in 2026? Are you going to be better prepared this time, 2026?
By the grace of God. Look, 2026 and now, it's too long.
Yeah.
It's 3.5 years exactly, pretty much. And in between there are a lot of things that are happening. Right now, I have one important priority. I am going to the ICC to do the Rohingya case, and then I come back. I will not be completely gone as such. I would be working at The Hague. I will be working from here as well. I will be going back and forth, to do this job. It's a very important case.
Is it the same, the Rohingya case that Gambia took to the ICC, right?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
And I think I should explain.
Please explain. That would be interesting, yeah.
Gambia took the Rohingya case to the International Court of Justice.
Yes.
And that case is between Gambia and Myanmar. It is Gambia's position that Myanmar is violating the Genocide Convention against Muslims in Myanmar. So they took the case to the International Court of Justice for the court to put in place protective measures against, in favor of the Rohingya people and so forth. So that is case one.
Okay.
So this case brings the matter into an international court and compelled the government of Myanmar to come before the court to answer to the claims of Gambia. And that is very important. That is very significant. Yeah. And I congratulate our former Attorney General, Abubakar Tambeli, and also this government and the OIC for taking the case to the ICJ. My appointment is to lead and prosecute, to lead the investigations and prosecute the person who is responsible for the genocide that Gambia is complaining about at the International Court of Justice. So it's two cases. The case that Gambia took to the International Court of Justice, as a result of which the ICC decided to investigate. ICC have given me that case to lead the investigation and the prosecution. So
that is huge.
So, yes, this is huge.
Wow.
Look, so I am doing this case because this is a continuation of keeping the Gambia's flag flying high in the international community. You know, I think one of the biggest achievements of the Barrow government is to take that case to the ICJ. We can't thank them enough. Why? Because these are fellow Muslims who are being persecuted in Myanmar. Okay, but it's also an honor for a Gambian to be asked to come and lead that
investigation. Wow, congratulations. This is really huge.
Thank you very much.
This is huge.
So for me, this is something I have done before. I have done the Darfur case. I led the Darfur case. You know, so to be asked to come and lead this case is quite an honor. So I have done it for prosecution. I have done it for defense. But this is what we lawyers do. You know, so...
What is the scope of this particular job that you're going to be doing?
Yes, the scope of it is...
It's wide? Very wide.
Yes, it is. But the case is also limited because of technicalities, legal technicalities, complex jurisdictional issues. It's all about persecution and deportation. The deportation of the Muslims, of the Rohingya Muslims from Myanmar to Bangladesh. So for me personally, really, apart from my obligations and commitment as a lawyer, it's also deeply personal. The attacks are an attack against the people of my faith, Muslims. So I think whatever contribution I can make to help Muslims anywhere in the world, I should. So for me personally, this is a contribution to my religion. But also, on a broader perspective, it's a contribution to my belief in the law as the basis, you know, for orderly behavior in society and for human development. So that's the reason why I am going to do this case. I hope all Gambians would.
I mean, I see a lot of people congratulating you right now.
So I'll be going and coming. It's not like I'm just going to stay in the Hague.
I was going to say,
No.
But for how long is it? Do you know the duration?
Look, this case won't finish for 5 years.
Wow.
Okay? But there are certain important things that have to happen now.
Okay.
That is the investigation and the arrest warrant. You know, so my focus, my objective is to run a fantastic investigation and get good results and have the right people indicted, and my objective would have been achieved. I don't think I have the time to really stay on at the court to see final prosecution. of the case, because I have other things I will also want to do in life.
Will this permit you to do any politics?
Including being in Gambia.
Would this job permit you to do politics on the side?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. It depends.
It depends.
There are certain limits, but it depends.
It depends.
So, but I want to do this for no more than 1 year.
Yeah.
6 months to 1 year. You know, I go to The Hague, spend some time, I come back, work from here, go back to The Hague, spend some time, come back, work here. And there is a lot of traveling also. So it's not like I'm just going and they won't see me for 1 year. No. I have never done it like that. I go and come. But this is a very important case. And for Gambia, I think it is quite significant that we have this opportunity. If it was not that, I would not have done it. I've been offered other cases in The Hague, Jelumako.
Wow.
You know, because Defnako, it's not like anything new.
No.
I mean, Mangi first lead ICC case in 2006, 2007. So that's a long.
So when you take cases, you at this point is more of what you feel more interested in. Danga hol bo hamne dal jaral na lako, right?
Well, xam nga ding de ega stage bo xamne ci sa carrière.
Wow.
Suñ la joxe yene liggéey yi, you may choose to take it or not.
Not ICC jobs. Not ICC jobs.
Xam nga man.
Wow.
I was senior trial lawyer at the ICC.
Yeah.
Which puts me in the next level after the deputy prosecutor. So level bobu is by election.
Yeah.
So the highest appointed position at ICC Eganafa. The next moy new elect la rather.
Yeah.
So I mean.
From the state you yield that.
I'm going to election.
Wow.
And you know, so for me, the area Bimaneka is prosecution basically. So I mean, there are certain reasons why I could not have gone for an elected position at the ICC. Understand? So, but the important thing is at the technical level, Egana at the highest level from 2007. So Lee is nothing new to me. I have done it before. I pray to God that I still have the energy and the stamina to do it again and to do it well, you know, and to produce results that all Gambians would be proud about, you know, because if we get good results, you know, Gambia mo yobu case be at ICJ. Gambian more opened the investigations at the ICC because Fatou Bensouda opened the investigation.
Okay.
So if a Gambian is now asked to come and lead the investigations and the prosecution, I think this would be a very good Gambian case and a very good example of Gambia's stance when it comes to international criminal law, you know, in the world. So it's a very good thing for our country. You know, and that's the reason why I'm doing it. Otherwise, I would have been happy being here and doing my little thing in my little corner.
I see a lot of Gambians so proud of this, and I think, you know, pour ñun ñu bari is more about what takes the flag higher there, and you are one of those people who have done it so many years, and you know, and you continue to do it, and we are absolutely proud that you're taking this case, and we'll be following and we'll be watching because this is very important to Gambia.
Thank you. The investigations is certainly not the most exciting one for the media, but it's certainly the most demanding and interesting aspect of the case. I pray to God that we succeeded. I'd be happy to come back here someday to say, finally we have indicted. Those at the highest level, those who bear the greatest responsibility, and I am now fully back and be ready to do Mbokantebo for me. We will be looking forward to that, and Kerr Fatou is always going to be the #1 place to have you and talk about that. But honestly, we are so proud, and I see a lot of people are, you know, sending their congratulatory messages on this. This is huge for Gambia. Thank you.
And then, you know, having a Gambian like you, I've always tell people, doing the Hamsun guy, why not? Gambians are doing very well. Everywhere. Yeah.
Every sector. So they may around the world, you have Gambians doing exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I agreed to run the last time, because Gambia should not be so shortchanged when it comes to competent people running
for the highest office.
No, not just for the highest office, but
public office.
all other public offices in the country. Because we have a lot of people out there who can contribute enormously to the development of our country. What they need is leadership that they can trust. Leadership that can understand them and their mindset and their thinking, and leadership that has a similar work culture. If you take a Gambian doctor from Wyoming in the US, ko hamne sunkone ko operation bi mu ngi start at 9, 8:30 mu fa set up na ready for 9 o'clock to start. Nga jël ko indi ko fi mu or la ne suñ ko ne 8:30, it means maybe 11:35. He'll get lost. So we need a leadership that can correct all this in Gambian society. We need leadership that can blend the good in this country and the best that our diaspora can offer, put it together and to produce spectacular results for Gambia.
But can we do that?
We can do it. TRRC is a good example. TRRC is a good example. Look at the mix. We had Gambians from abroad who came with their experience. We have committed and well-meaning Gambians at home who also wanted to see justice. You bring them together under an organized leadership, they delivered fantastic results. Gambia's TRRC is being talked about everywhere around the world. We can do it again. And that's why I asked to be your president. If I was given the opportunity, I will organize something like that again. A good mix of highly competent and highly experienced Gambians from abroad, and good and capable and committed Gambians at home. Honest people, you bring them together under a very well-defined program. You dohal dekabi, and Gambians would see results. And that is what is going to make our country better.
And that's what our country yearns for.
Our biggest asset is not the remittances, no. No, it's the human resources that is abroad. If we can harness that, organize it, and bring it here, and get them to work for their country, this country would soon surpass Cape Verde and start moving higher up on the Human Development Index, higher up, in all parameters of assessing development. We can do it. But they need leadership that they can trust. They need leadership that they can understand. They need leadership that understands and appreciates their new values, because these are people who have acquired new values and new culture because of the environment they are in. So when they come here, they have to be able to understand what they are doing, the why, the raison d'etre. And it is possible. We can do it. But not under the current culture. The current culture will not cut it, I'm sorry to say. This is not to say that the diaspora is the answer for everything Gambian. No, they are not. And they have also their shortcomings. But for what we need the best from Gambians all over the world, and put that together to produce the best results for this country. With me in the leadership, I think we can do it.
You think we can do it?
Yes.
So why not?
Well, they haven't given me the chance.
Are you ready to try again 2026?
We will get to 2026 by the grace of God.
By the grace of God. What's your final message to the Gambian people who are watching? We have over 2,000 people watching right now, and I see a lot of them excited about all the things that I say. Whenever you speak, people listen and they enjoy what you say, and it seems like a lot of people say, this is the kind of messages we want to hear. Young Gambians who have agenda and plans for this country, and that's what a lot of people want to see and hear. What is your message, your final message to the Gambian people?
That is quite encouraging. My final message for Gambians is that We have a country to talk about because we have peace. We have a country we want to develop because we have peace. We cannot take that peace for granted. We have to all work together to try to maintain that peace. But peace has to thrive under a certain environment of tolerance, respect for each other, respect for laws. These are basic. We have to have this. If we continue this route of tribalism, religious discrimination, religious attacks, if we want to continue encouraging corruption, when people steal, we clap for them. When people don't do the right thing, we clap for them. If we want to continue that, our country is going to go down the drain. If we want our country to develop, we have to be serious. We have to be committed. We have to be hard-working. It's now rainy season. Go around the country and see the farms. They are getting fewer and fewer and fewer. If we don't start producing what we eat, we will continue to export the limited money we have in this country for our own survival. It's like paying rent. We will continue to be trapped in poverty. And that is why whenever occasions come, I write and make certain policy prescriptions. I make certain policy recommendations for governments to consider. Do you know why? I do that because regardless of what government is in power, we want our people to have a good life. So if I can contribute to that by making a suggestion, I would, whether I am in government or not, because our country should move forward. So if any person, politician or not, has ideas, bring them forward. When those ideas are accepted and implemented, it would only be for the betterment of our people. And that is why I do that. So my last thing to Gambians is, let's show tolerance to each other. Let's show love and respect to each other. But above all, let's show respect for the laws of this country and try to shed these little things that divide us. Tribalism, religious discrimination, and politics mixed together is a dangerous cocktail. It's a recipe for disaster. It's a powder keg waiting to explode. We cannot afford to have that in this little country. Ntolbe killing, Gambia yep bena bopala. Suñ jàppante ñu dimbale wante. Regardless of our political differences, this country can move forward. To the Gambia ever true.
To the Gambia ever true.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Essa, for always talking to us, and we really appreciate that. And I said no other person could have taken me out of where I was today, but obviously, why not? It's always interesting to talk to you and to hear from you. And of course, to give the Gambians this good news, this beautiful news that you are going back to the ICC to lead, briefly, to lead an investigation on a case that, you know, also, let's say, a Gambian case. And we want to thank you for always flying the Gambian flag higher. And we hope more of those in the future also. And we thank you very much. And we will be following. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to you all watching, we say happy Tobaski to you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tobaski. And of course, Mbaye ni ak Sise ak Kamara yi ñoom ñu ngi si xar yi waaye nag ñun ñu ngi si kurus yi di leen wax happy Tobaski. And thank you very much for watching. See you next week, inshallah. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital, while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been. As we look forward to greater achievements, we are rebranding to reflect who we are today and the future that we inspire. Our new logo has been designed to visually demonstrate our Gambian heritage and the sophisticated nature of the bank. We are moving away from the navy and gold-colored parallelogram-shaped logo to our baobab tree with a rising sun in the background. The striking outline of a baobab tree at sunrise is a familiar sight to anyone who has spent time in the Gambia. Our new logo and visual identity are inspired by our core values and spirit of being a pioneer in providing a unique banking experience. It is a completely new look that better matches the transformation we have made as a company. But we remain your Trust Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to present to you our new logo and corporate identity.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books, and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
Airport Residency Estate is a gated community located in Old Yundum, proudly developed by Swami India, perfect for all looking for a quiet life with luxury amenities within an enclosed setting. When talking about the benefits of living in a gated community, safety and security is top on the list. They allow extra privacy, take away the hustle of unwelcome solicitors, and create a safe haven for children to play in a trusted environment without traffic or speedy vehicles. A great sense of community develops through the meeting at a controlled communal leisure facilities, offering an integrated lifestyle. A green environment and well-managed communal areas are keys to higher home standards, elevated quality of life, and better property value, should you consider home reinvestment in the future. Added to all is the location, just next to the airport and reconstructed main road, yet tucked in the tranquility of nature. Our purpose is one: your satisfaction. Contact us. Let us help you build your dream home in the Gambia.
This season on Kerr Fatou.
The reason I have always called for a national dialogue is because a government must be responsive to the needs of its people.
Fatou.